Welcome to today's episode. Whether you've been dreaming about becoming a barber but don't know where to start, or you're already cutting but not quite where you want to be, you're in for a treat. I'm joined by someone who's turned his skill, his passion, and his years in the chair into a business that's changing lives. He's a founder of Online Barber Pro. Welcome to the show, Loz.
I'm excited to be here.
Cool. So let's rewind. What first got you into barbering? What was the moment that you thought, yeah, this is for me?
So I was always someone who I didn't really enjoy school. I didn't really enjoy education. And I ended up coming out of education when I was 18 and I was just a bit lost. I didn't really know what to do with my life. I knew I loved getting my hair cut. It was like the favorite part of my 2 weeks. I really got on with the barber who cut my hair. So I just thought this is something I could be passionate about. Anyway, he led me down a path where I could get started in the industry. And I went for my first day in a shop. And as soon as I got there, I just thought, this is me. I absolutely love it. Everyone was dressed cool, really nice environment. And I got to cut in and I loved it even more. It's just really creative. And I just thought, this is definitely what I want to do as a career.
Amazing. So when you did start barbering, was this something that, you picked up the clippers, were you immediately good at it, or did it take you a little while before your confidence started to grow?
No, I definitely won't good at it straight away. Um, I remember my first day actually, my tutor said to me, "Oh, I've got a client coming in for you today." And I went, "Well, I don't know how to cut hair." And he went, "Well, this is how you're going to learn." So we got straight on the clippers, and obviously I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I was just so willing to learn, so I just put the hours in. I'd always stay after the lessons when all the other students had gone and he'd do one-to-ones with me because I think he took a shine to me because he knew how interested I was in learning, and obviously he was passionate about it as well, so he wanted to teach people who was also passionate about it. So we'd always stay till like 9, 10 o'clock at night, do an extra client, and I just got good fast from doing it from there. But yeah, at the start I definitely wasn't good. I was just really, really willing to learn.
Amazing. And I know you started as an apprentice, so what were those early days like? Was it a grind when you started your apprenticeship? Did you struggle?
Yeah, yeah. So it was definitely a grind. So I did my apprenticeship in two places. The first place was about an hour and a half away from me, so I had to get three trains there and three trains back. Now there was really nice people I worked with, but they never really taught me anything, never really put much time into me. So that's when I moved shops. And I thought it'd be better. I moved somewhere closer to home. I could get more clients in. And I did get more clients in, but I was still just spending 90% of the day just sweeping floors, making cups of teas. And my boss had me working till like 11 o'clock at night on £2 an hour. So yeah, it wasn't great at the start, but the only reason I stuck at it is because I knew it's what I wanted to do. So I was just constantly chasing the light at the end of the tunnel. I thought once I get to do what I love all day, then it'll all be worth it.
And do you feel like that's a problem in the industry? I know it's not spoken about enough, but barbering apprentices working on really low wages, but then also not getting the experience either from putting that time into the apprenticeship.
Oh, it's definitely a problem in the industry. What the industry's quite broken, really. I mean, now I've worked all over the world and worked with hundreds of different barbers. I've realized it's the same pattern over and over. I thought it was just my shop. I thought they were just using me for cheap labor, and I didn't have a great apprenticeship, and I had to end up teaching myself, really. But I realized it was happening all over the world because what happens is the bosses take you on for cheap labor, but also they don't want to put loads of time into training you because if they put loads of time into training you, they can spend a year training you up and then you can just leave and go work at the shop next door. So they don't really put time into you. Um, and then the college is good, but they're just trying to push you through it as quick as they can because they get paid per student in the course. So the quicker they can get you through the course and the next student on, the more money they earn. So you kind of end up teaching yourself, going to seminars yourself, going to courses yourself, doing this sort of thing. So the apprenticeship kind of feels like a waste of time. And I wish I just went about it another way. I would have saved myself at least 4 or 5 years in training, just getting straight on the tools instead of doing the rest of it.
Yeah, and I know that you mentioned that, you were so passionate about it, from your early years, and that's why you probably didn't give up on it. What would you say to people who aren't sure if barbering's their passion because they've maybe never done it before?
I'd say I'd say just get started. Just get
Yeah,
started. Get a blockhead, get some tools, and just start learning. And if you feel that fire in you and you want to learn more and you want to know more and you're interested in it, then you know. But
yeah.
you're not gonna know unless you get started. You've got to jump into something head first to know if you're passionate about it. I don't think you can ever just know by thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, it sounded really tough, like you had it like the hard way when it comes to the way that you did things. And obviously, you've been successful from it. But, did you ever feel like giving up? And, what made you stick with it when it was slow and it was tough and it was a slog?
Oh, I nearly gave up loads of times. I never, but it was just the that I loved cutting hair so much. That's basically what it was. At the start, it was never about money for me. The good money came later, but like a lot of people say, it starts with the passion first. If you don't focus on the money and just focus on the cutting hair, the money will follow. So it was just all about that. I loved cutting hair. I love speaking to people every day. And I thought if I get to do this every day, I'll never work a day in my life. So that's what stuck me at it. I just love doing it and just want to learn more. So yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And, so let's talk about the shift. So you went from just cutting hair to actually building a business that teach others. What sparked the idea for Online Barber Pro?
I didn't want other people to struggle the way I did. I stuck at it because I loved it. But like I said, I nearly quit quite a few times. And I know there's a lot of barbers out there that are really passionate about it and love doing it, but they end up quitting because they get messed around so much and they just can't see a way out, a way they're going to be able to learn, a way they're going to be able to earn money. Now we've been in the industry 10 years. I know all the tips and tricks. I know the way to market yourself, to push your Instagram, to gain clients, all the skill sets I've learned over the years. So I just don't want other people to struggle the way that I did. It's unnecessary. And now I know there's a much easier way to get into the industry and a much easier way to learn. So there's no reason to go down the apprenticeship route, the college route, the other sort of routes. There's a much easier way to do it. And now I can see that and I want other people to have that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds absolutely amazing. Obviously, barbering is growing in popularity. There's other barbering courses out there. What made you decide that you're actually going to create your own and maybe make something better than, what's already out there?
So there is some barbering courses out there that are good, and I know ones that are really bad as well. But they're super expensive. I mean, most of them are charging about £8,000 upwards. Which if you don't even know if you're sure that 100% that you want to do it yet or that you're passionate about it yet, it's a lot of money to spend. And usually the courses that they're charging that for are quite short. They're like 6 weeks courses, 4 weeks courses, and you're only in an hour a week. So a lot of times people finish them and they still can't cut hair. So I wanted to create a space where anybody could start, anybody could give it a go, and that you're not tied to an area. A lot of people don't have a barbering course near them. So this gives you an opportunity to learn it wherever you are in the world, and gives anyone the opportunity to get into the industry.
I mean, incredible. I mean, if you're looking at Online Barber Pro, would you say it is more for beginners or what if someone's already in the industry and, they're interested in it?
Look, we've trained mostly beginners. I'd say we're 80-90% beginners. We have a course that trains you from the very roots up of how to hold a pair of scissors and then obviously onto more advanced techniques. But we have had people on the course that have been in barbering 5-10 years. I've recently just trained a guy from New York, Sean's his name. He's been in the industry 8 years, but he just wanted to improve his skills, like a lot of barbers constantly looking to grow. So he just wanted to improve his skills, push his social media. So I worked with him for 3 months, and now he's absolutely killing it on social media. And he's looking to go full time just on the social media game. So yeah, it's mostly for beginners, but I have trained people already in the industry because they've done a course themselves or done an apprenticeship themselves, and they're still not quite sure how to cut hair. So then they jump on with us and get some proper training.
Yeah, I mean, you've given a great example there, and obviously, talking about results, you've worked with people from all walks of life, all ages, all around the world. What are the big transformations that you've seen in people's development? Like, have you got a few success stories you can share with me?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Sean himself, he's definitely a success story. I had another client called Daniel, really got on with him. He was a welder and he was just absolutely hating his job. He was 35 years old, he'd done it all his life and he was just sick of it. So he jumped on with us, started and he picked it up really well. He put the work in. So I put the time into him. Now he owns his own shop. He's got three barbers in there. He's earning very, very good money and he just loves what he does every day now. So yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Like obviously like you come across really, confident, especially like the way you're speaking to me and the answers that you're giving. Have you always been this confident, or do you believe people who are maybe shy or, anxious can start something like barbering where it is quite customer facing?
No, so I was a really, really shy kid. And I sometimes think back now and I think if I thought I was going to be a barber later on in life, I'd have just thought that's not going to happen. But the thing is with barbering, you're not speaking in a room full of people, you're speaking one on one. And you can have really good connections with people, really good chats with people. Um, and people are friendly. At the end of the day, you're cutting the hair, so they want to be nice to you. So it's definitely built my confidence up. I can speak to anyone now because I've cut people all walks of life. But yeah, it's definitely built my confidence up. I started shy in the shop as a young apprentice, hardly daring to speak to anyone, and now yeah, I speak to different people every day. But I absolutely love it. I meet people from all walks of life who do different jobs, and I get to learn a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been a massive, confidence booster for yourself. And, what would you say to people that are maybe holding back a little bit from taking the first step? Maybe they're worried about investing the money or they feel like now's not the right time. Like, what advice would you give to those people?
I'd say with investing the money, people in general don't like to spend money.
Yeah.
That's just that's just a given.
Yeah.
But what frustrates me is I can see the potential in a lot of people and I can see how much money they can earn. I mean, the barbers in our shop are earning up to £60,000 a year, and that's just the ones that are renting the chair. So I know the money to be made in it, and I know the money they can earn, but they're scared to spend that little bit of money, and I find it frustrating because I think you're leaving so much on the table. If you invest this little bit of money into yourself, it's going to change your career, your life, your financial situation. And I wish I could just grab and shake people sometimes because I think you don't understand the opportunity that you're missing out on. And time-wise, a lot of people think they're not going to be able to fit it into the schedule. So obviously, what we do is a little bit different with other courses. We work it around you, so you can train at any time that suits you. If you're working night shifts, day shifts, you can do it after work, before work, weekends. So time's never going to be an issue. I think it's an excuse people give themselves that holds themselves back.
And from a time perspective, I know we've all got busy lives now, I'm busy, my family are busy, my friends are busy, and what you're saying is correct. And I feel like there's so much stuff going on that people think, where the hell do I get the time? But, when you think about it, you went through, you really went through the trenches for like 5 or 6 years to get to where you want to be. So do you think this is, so do you think this is actually going to save people time in the long run?
Oh, 100% save people time. I mean, everything that I've learned over the last 10 years cutting hair is in this course. So you get all the knowledge from all the hours I've put in over the years, straight away in your hands. So it saves you 10 years retrospectively. It
Yeah.
saves you 10 years of learning, with the marketing, the skills and everything. So that's why it's so powerful because it saves you having to go through the long apprenticeships, working for £2 an hour for 60 hours a week, because everything that you need to know is in there. So if you can get your head down, you can get it done in a matter of 12 weeks and you're cutting hair and earning very good money.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, giving people who might be watching this the inside scoop or maybe, considering joining. I mean, can you join if you've never held a pair of clippers? And, if you did join, like what would the first week look like?
Oh, 100%. Obviously, most of the people we train have never picked up a pair of clippers. Um, and we treat it accordingly to that. So it starts from the very, very bottom, just learning about the tools, the consultations, head shapes, that sort of thing. The first week is just building the foundations, really, learning what tools that you need to use to start, and then it's just learning the foundations of a haircut before we get into any of the fading, the scissor cuts, that sort of thing. Because once you can learn the foundations of how to cut hair, it all clicks into place and becomes very, very easy. So the first week will just be on the blockheads, the training mannequin heads. We won't jump on any family or friends straight away. It'll just be on the mannequin heads, just learning all foundations, and then obviously we build your confidence from there.
Cool. And, is it just coaching, like videos, like pre-recorded stuff, or how do the clients get the support from you?
So obviously the course itself, like I said, everything that needs to know about cutting hair is in that course, and we give you that straight up. But we also we don't just like to chuck videos at people and leave them to it. So we also have the 24/7 support. Any of the students can message us at any point throughout the day asking any questions. Obviously, this can be with anything to do with any cutting or they've watched something they don't understand, but you can also ask us questions on how you're going to gain clients, build your social media, working on your photography, videography. And we also do one-to-one training calls. So every couple of weeks, I sit down with the students on a video call with them and we go through everything that they've been learning. They send me photos and videos of the work they've been doing. We bring that up on screen, we break it down, and students seem to get a lot from this. They can really build on from there, and we can build a good connection, and build a skill set going forwards.
Amazing. And obviously, like, you've got a thick accent like me. I think we're both from Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Can you help people worldwide? What if we've got someone from, America or Australia who wants to get involved in this? Can they join?
Yeah, 100%. So all the videos are translated into any language. So, and obviously we can talk through Messenger. If someone doesn't understand my accent, I can try and dumb it down for them. But yeah, anyone from around the world, I've taught people from pretty much any country you can imagine. So yeah, it works for anyone. Yeah.
Amazing. And obviously, like from a qualification perspective, in the UK, do you need any formal qualification or could you do online Barber Pro and then go get a job in a barber? Would that be legal?
Yeah, so this is mostly the reason why we started this business because when I saw all the apprentices going through the same system and not getting any training and cleaning people's barbershops for this qualification. And then I learned that you don't even need it. In most countries in the world, I don't think any country, apart from the US, but you have to get the qualification in the US to work there anyway. So the UK qualification wouldn't be liable. So when I learnt that you don't actually need the qualification, I thought, why are we all putting ourselves through this when you could just learn from an experienced barber and build your skill set up that way? I've seen hundreds of people do it now. Just jump straight on the tools, start learning what you need to learn, and start earning money straight away instead of the rest.
Amazing. And, obviously this is an amazing concept. It's an amazing idea. It's been highly successful, so far. What is your vision for Online Barber Pro? Like, where do you see this company going in the future?
I just want to help as many people as possible. I want to see less barbers struggle at the start. I want to grow it more global. Obviously, we've reached global already, but we've been pushing the UK mostly. But I'd love to get it into more developing countries, help people out there because I know they really struggle to start in the industry. Obviously, we help people out with the tools as well because the tools can be very expensive when you're starting, so even that as a startup cost can put people off. We get everything at cost with having connections with certain suppliers. So we just push this on to our students. We don't make any money out of this. We just pass this on to them, help them get started. So I just want to grow and help as many people as humanly possible get started in this. I know a lot of people are stuck in jobs that they just really, really don't enjoy, but they can't see a way out. And they look at certain barbering courses and stuff like this, and they think, well, I just can't afford that, or I don't have the time to get started. So I just want to be able to help as many people as possible and give people um, opportunities out there who don't have the opportunity to get started.
Amazing. And obviously using that similar thing out you, because when you started barbering, like you said, you weren't chasing the money, you were chasing the passion. And, you've quite clearly, brought that into your business as well. You've helped hundreds of people now achieve this, and you probably downplay your success a little bit, but how does it feel knowing that you've got, hundreds of people, out of jobs they've hated and, how out of the 9 to 5 and out of the rat race into something that they're passionate about?
Oh, great. I love it. Yeah, it's the best part of the job. Obviously, I'm still really, really passionate about barbering. So, teaching barbering anyway, I absolutely love. But I love when I see other people get passionate about it and start really enjoying what they do. It just creates a great atmosphere.
Yeah. Incredible. And, what myths do you think people believe about barbering or, starting their own business that, aren't true? I know, for example, like the barbering industry, like people can generally think it's quite a low paid job as well, which I think is one of the myths that like maybe I've thought similar to hairdressing. So like what are some things that you've noticed that, you might want to just, tell your audience about?
Well, the barbering industry over the last 10 years has just massively, massively exploded. Forbes actually rated it as the fastest growing industry in the world in 2018. So it's just absolutely exploded. And that's because there's so many opportunities out there. A lot of people have the conception with barbering that it's just you stood behind a chair cutting hair, but it's completely changed now. There's so, so many opportunities. You can go into education like myself. You can go into cutting celebrities, there's a lot of money. You can go in traveling around the world teaching other barbers. You can go into opening multiple shops, and you can push yourself on social media, which grow a massive following on there, and then that just opens endless, endless opportunities. So this is why the industry is exploding so much because there's just so much opportunity within it now. It's not just one job role. There's lots and lots of different things that you can do. I mean, I've known barbers retire at 25 because they've grown the social media that much that they're just pulling in that much money. And the multimillionaires just from cutting hair, which obviously 20 years ago, without social media, wouldn't have been possible. So yeah, there's just so many opportunities in the industry now.
Yeah, amazing. And I guess it's like, your hybrid. You can either have a bricks and mortar business, but once you've got those skills, you can literally pick your clippers and your scissors up and go anywhere in the world, which is probably something again that people don't realize. You're not tied to a, address, you're not tied to a location with it. Um, if someone's watching this and they're nervous or unsure and they don't know whether to maybe book a call in with you and they're not quite sure whether this is going to be right or whether barbering, is an option for them, what would you say to those people?
I'd just say, obviously, the call's a no pressure call. So just drop me a message, get a call booked in, and we can just have a chat about any of the concerns that you do have, and see if we can overcome them. Obviously, if I don't think that you're going to be a good fit for the program, then I'm not going to push it on you. I only want people on it who are going to benefit at the end of the day. So just jump on, have a chat. Any of your concerns or any of the questions you have, I can answer, and then you've got more of a clear view going forward, whether it's going to be a good opportunity for you or not.
Yeah, amazing. So then, guys, there you have it. If you've been sitting on the fence, doubting yourself, wondering if this is even possible, if you're watching this might be your sign. So, as Loz has told us today, you don't need a fancy degree, years of experience, or to be naturally confident. I think you just need the right tools, the right coach, and a bit of belief. And that's clearly what Online Barber Pro is about. Loz, thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for helping so many people get into the barbing industry. And hopefully, I'll see you soon.